Here's a quick tip I learned from Jim Dethmer of Conscious Leadership. He's amazing. But anyway, you know how a lot of us will have a story about what something means. For instance, you're sitting on a meeting, waiting and waiting and waiting, and your manager comes on 15 minutes late and just gets started with the meeting. You might in your head have a story about the fact that they don't respect your time, they think their time is more valuable than others, or that they even forgot about the meeting. It's such a low priority for them. And one of the things Jim Dethmer recommends when you are clearing out something is to separate the facts from the story and own them as the story. Now, this is something I work with teams all the time with when we're talking about how to have challenging conversations. But I loved his really direct tip, which is to say, hey, when you arrived at our last one-to-one 15 minutes late, I made up a story that our one-to-one isn't a big priority for you. And I made up a story that it might be a low priority in your world. And I'm just sharing that I made up that story. And I love how he asks people to own their stories as opposed to just believe all their stories are true, because it is so easy to believe that our stories are true. And just naming that it is a story is the first step in owning it, but it also helps someone else come back because they understand what stories you're making about their behavior, and it helps them either correct them or maybe validate them. You know, you're right. I feel like we talk all the time, Joe, and our one-to-ones are not as big a priority because we're always in constant communication. That might be valid too. And at least you know then your manager feels in touch with you. So the one-to-ones are a lower priority. And that is good information to have moving forward. So my question to you today is, what stories are you making up about someone else's behavior? And if you talk with them about it, can you own that they are your stories and exactly what they are? I hope this learning snack was helpful for you. I'm Joe Ilfeld, CEO and founder of Insight to Leadership.